Good evening and welcome to KSC TV News. I'm Valerie Troilo.
And I'm Laura Maye. Thanks for tuning in this evening.
A man and woman have been charged with assaulting two men in Alstead in January of 2016. 37-year-old Michael Jewell of Charleston and 29-year-old Felicia Relihan of Alstead have been found guilty of two charges in misdemeanor simple assault. According to court documents, Relihan drove Jewell and another man to the homes of his two victims where the assaults took place. Both Jewell and Relihan have been sentenced to 12 months in jail and were ordered to have no contact with either of their victims. Keene State's men's and women's lacrosse team players are worried how their season will be affected due to the new practicing conditions and are speaking out. The men's and women's lacrosse teams now have to share a field during practice and they are not happy about it. Women's lacrosse team is currently 0-6. Both teams are outraged by the fact that they are unable to utilize the entire field during practicing hours. The fact is they are unable to get in an efficient practice and prepare for their games. Keene State's men's lacrosse player Rob Hart feels these new conditions only have negative outcomes.
Well, it affects me personally because not being able to have a whole field, we're not being able to do all the drills we're supposed to be doing and normally doing like we have past 3 years, and personally it's kind of hard to get motivated when you're not doing the normal drills that you know will really help the team and help the majority of the season.
These new conditions put limits on both teams. Keene State's men's lacrosse player Thomas Janowski says they are trying to work with what they have, but it is very difficult.
Yes, I think it's a lot harder for us to really get ready for games. I feel like we can't really get the full aspect of the full field scrimmage, so I feel like it affects us for games because it's kind of ruins our opportunity to get a full work for practice in.
Janowski says that you can only do so much with what you have.
I'm upset, obviously, but we've dealt with it for this year, so it's a little harder for us to it's a little hard to get over it, you know.
The teams are unsure how they're going to play due to the new practicing conditions because they don't have access to an entire field. Right now, the men are 7-3 and the women are 4-8 overall.
The Keene High Athletic Department just announced they will be getting two new coaches for next winter on Tuesday afternoon. Chris McIntosh will be the new head coach of the varsity boys hockey team, while Matt Farisi was appointed as head coach for the wrestling program. Farisi has been an assistant coach under Bill Gillard for 6 seasons. McIntosh has been an assistant coach for the hockey team the last 4 years. Keene State nutrition interns are teaching us all the basics of how to eat better. Today at Keene State College, nutrition clinician interns educated a small crowd about mindful eating. They taught how to practice mindful eating, what mindful eating was, and gave out pamphlets with information on it about the topic. One Keene State College student spoke out about mindful eating.
Yes, I feel like I stress eat a lot, especially when I have a lot of school work going on. My biggest problem with mindful eating is when I'm sitting in a social setting and there's food around me and I'm talking and not really thinking about eating. I'm just eating whatever's around me.
The nutrition clinician interns recognize people everywhere do not know what mindful eating is, and that is a problem because people are not aware of why they are eating or what they put in their mouths, and they are trying to put a stop to it.
American Honey was shown on Saturday, March 4th at 7 p.m. in the Redfern Arts Center. This event was part of the Putnam Film Event Series. About 10 people gathered together to watch the film. It was a very disappointing outcome. The film was about troubled adolescents' lifestyle of hard partying nights, law-bending days, and young love. This was the first time the film was shown at Keene State and will probably be the last due to the disappointing turnout.
With graduation less than 2 months around the corner, many college seniors are concerned about finding a job. Recently, I talked to some students feeling the anxiety many graduating seniors are feeling.
Commencement is just 41 days away, and many graduating owls are left wondering what they're going to do once they leave Keene State College. Some people have jobs lined up while others do not, which puts pressure on the unemployed seniors and heightens their anxiety even more. Keene State College senior Carly Gavalisi does not have a post-grad plan and talks about what she is doing in attempts to find a job. Career fairs are offered here on campus where they go over your resume with you and attempt to help you find jobs.
My biggest fear is honestly just moving back home, being broke, and not finding a job that I love and just settling for something.
This is Laura May reporting live from Carly Gravelisi's off-campus housing, reassuring her that she will be just fine and she will find a job in the future.
It will all work out in the end for these college seniors, but until then, they will just have to wait and see what the future has in store for them.
That is all for this edition of KSC TV. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll be back next week at the same time. We'll see you then, and have a good evening.